I got these. Once again, I own physical copies of both these games. Now, all I have to do is make sure that my PS2 still works. I hope it does. It's never failed. Last time I checked, it hasn't failed me for the past 10 years. Nico. 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 Pancake. Nico. It is. It's he. It's he. It's her. They. She. Yeah. Creepypasta time. Hello, greetings, konnichiwa, and other various greetings in different languages. As I sleep deprived just tree, kind of. I coming at you live with another. We're gonna read more creepypastas. I'm coming at you live, and we do be reading more pastas. It's 11:10 right now. Let's go. Like Scoob, I'm getting tired of your shit, man. Rock you, Raggy. Like, man, I'm Fred. Why you always gotta be a simp? Like, Zoinks. Zoinks, man. I'm tired of you. Yeah. I I have no idea what that was. As you can see, the lighting is a little different. It's because I got a light at Burlington. Has like 12 colors. We're gonna try them out before we read the the pastas that are creepy. We got yellow. I said we got yellow. There we go. It's okay. Got a orange, I think. Okay. We got the darkest green. That is not green. That's green blue. And then blue. Ooh, I like that. Jeez. Come on. I said, come on. Come on. Why is it? Why do it be acting like this? Come on. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Oh my gosh. I am sorry. Uh, or it can just be white. Or it can just be white. What am I doing? That's not green. I have to set the mood. Haven't even started reading the creepypastas yet. Someone's gonna make a creepypasta out of me spending like 50 years trying to freaking this RF thing is I hate it. Like the range is so. Oh, there we go. There we go. What's the lighting? By the way, the light's like right in front of me, so that's why you can't see it. But you can see how the light is kind of like changing. Uh, I'm not doing a tutorial. Eh, we're gonna keep. We're gonna drop our phone. We're gonna keep with that lighting. Uh, shit. Uh, Clark Cadroid. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Greetings and salutations. Konnichiwa and other various greetings. I already said that like 6 minutes ago. It is me, Just Tree, and we're gonna read stories because I fucking said so. No, don't fall. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, we're gonna read stories because I said so. Yay! We get to read stories. And the one viewer here, hello. Hope you're doing well. You're gonna listen to me articulate with words. We're gonna find some good stories. So here, and yes, I know. Turn off. We're not playing RP. We're not playing phone RPGs right now. We're literally. That's not. It's not very creepy pasta music. We don't need creepy pasta music. What we need is a creepy pasta. I found some Friday Night Funkin' creepy pastas. We're not gonna read that. We're not gonna read that. We're gonna try. Mario again. Oh, by the way, if anyone who does not know, the Troll Pasta Wiki is back up, so that's pretty awesome. That is actually really awesome. It's like there's a slight slant. Oh God, I don't like this. It's whatever. I mean, people can still see. Whatever. I mean, at least there's no shine. Anyway, yeah, it's like there's yeah. Okay, let's actually read a story now. Sorry. On to the on to I keep calling it the games. All right, window capture. Uh, yes, I mean again, I get it. I know what you're gonna say. I have a lot of tabs open. I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it. Super Mario 128. We're gonna try this again. All right. I don't know if I should. This never works out. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I should make this a little bigger. Because again, I'm reading creepypastas. I should bring this to the front. I should have done this way before the stream started, but what? Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. We good. We are good. We are good. We are a go. Houston, we don't got no we don't got a problem. We don't there's no problems no more. We get to read the story. We get to read the story as my as my pop filter drops every single fucking time I stream. So that's great. That's not great. I am debating on whether or not I should read the story in a serious voice or a sarcastic voice. Then again, this is late night creepypasta readings. So I don't know. Fuck it. I'll just read in a serious tone. So anyway, welcome to the Creepypasta Wiki. Let's do come on, F11, fuck 11, fuck the number 11. F11, there we go. It did not do F11. Alright, let's try again. F11. There we go. Alright. Super Mario 128. Let's do this. Articulation. Vocal articulation. Let's go. Super Mario 128. Oh, wait. I can't remember if I'm doing the serious voice or not. Fuck it. We'll do the voice. Well, I don't know. Super Mario 128. Mario has been a gaming icon for decades and has been in more games than can be counted. These, I guess the authors tried. It's impossible. Although no year in recent memory has gone past without some type of Mario game being released. Series fans will remember the nearly decade-long drought of original Mario platformers. Do you remember that? I don't remember that. What are we doing? From 1997 to 2005, there was only one new Mario platformer released. Super Mario Sunshine is no one try to correct the author, or this entire story is going to fall apart. During the second part of this drought, after Sunshine's release, because that was the only game that released, the mysterious Super Mario 128 was the main focus of the fan base. No concrete information was given on the game, and eventually, series creator Shigeru Miyamoto claimed that it had simply been a series of test concepts that were never intended to be an actual game, which is a fucking lie. I swear these stories always lie to me every single time I read them, and I don't even read these before I start recording. The mystery faded from memory as the Mario drought finally ended, and most people forgot about the game that had once been the center of every Mario fan's imagination. With the pizza. And the Mario drought corresponded with a bad era for Nintendo in terms of console sales. The Nintendo 64 and GameCube did not have the financial success of the earlier Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo, or the later Wii. Okay. For a proud company that relied solely on video games to make money, you know, and not to mention Switch OLEDs, you know, Switches, Joy Cons, shutting down fan games, stuff like that. But we don't talk about that. This was quite upsetting for the higher-ranking employees that make money and that were attached to the company and felt its success or failure reflected on them personally. Yeah, you better. It is your fault. Nintendo started working on a sequel to the 1996 Super Mario 64, trademarked, shortly after the game was released. But during the late 90s, it became clear that Nintendo was not winning the console war. The Super Mario 64 sequel was restarted from scratch since the company believed that it was not substantial enough, was not a substantial enough improvement over the original to turn the tides of the market battle. It doesn't really matter. The Nintendo 64 sold like ass anyway. It would not have helped. So good on you, Nintendo. Good on you. And seeing the generally more real stop falling. God, I'm gonna cry. Seeing the generally more realistic and violent video games on Sony's PlayStation, the market leader, Nintendo, considered making a Mario, not a Mario game, a Mario. They're going to create a person that was closer in tone to what the public seemed to want. So, a plumber. All right. There was quite a bit of internal conflict over how far to go with this new direction. And the new Mario trademarked was clearly not going to be ready until Nintendo's next console, the GameCube, the lunchbox you can hold. It has a handle. Seeing the general, I already read that. The only hint of this that was released to the public was a comment by Miyamoto that he thought Mario and Luigi should act more like grown-ups in their games for the then soon to be released GameCube. Can someone fact check this, please? The Mario project was ultimately split into two games / lies. Luigi's Mansion, which reflected the darker tone that many felt the series turned to, although it was still toned down quite a bit compared to what some Nintendo executives and developers wanted. And Super Mario Sunshine, which went in the complete opposite direction. Because, sure. Both were released within a year of the GameCube, and Nintendo felt confident that their new system and Mario games would return them to their former glory as market leader. Look at how the Switch is selling. They returned a while ago. It's okay, buddy. As those familiar with gaming history know, all one of you that are watching that are familiar with game history and watch game history, they didn't. Fucking course they did. The GameCube did even worse in market share than the Nintendo 64, and the mass market taste shifted even more towards violent, realistic video games. I guess they didn't like McDonald's Happy Meal boxes. You should have put amiibos in them. That would have sold. During this period, the somber mood at Nintendo intensified, and the darker Mario project was revived. This time codenamed Super Mario 128 it isn't clear exactly what happened at Nintendo during this period. Probably a bunch of executives speaking Japanese, but yes, sure. We are not sure what happened at this period in time. As we know, we don't Nothing called Super Mario 128 was ever released or publicly shown, which is fucking bullshit and a lie, because there's literally footage of that from Space World 2000. But hey, what do I know? I'm not an author. The source that revealed the internal strife at Nintendo during the later N64 era refused to discuss what was happening during the time of the GameCube's failure, probably because he fucking made it up, because he's probably part of the tabloids and wanted to start drama, but released a prototype of the Super Mario 128 online that can be played on the Wii Homebrew channel. I'm a fact check this one day. The following is a recollection of my time playing it. Well, suddenly own it now? Sure, go ahead. Keep going. I'm intrigued. The game was clearly in early beta. The title screen was nothing but white text saying, Super Mario 128 against a black background was the only color they could afford. There was no options menu or save file selection. You know, they're gonna add that later, and they're gonna add that in later as DLC. After the title screen, the game started. Bowser's laugh from Super Mario 64 looped in the background while a plain text box displayed this dialogue quotation. Mario, I have taken Princess Peach, and she will not live to see the sunrise tomorrow unless you take her place. You know what to do and where to go. Do not try to stop me unless you want to hasten her death. That is not Bowser's voice. We try again. Mario, I have taken Princess Peach, and she will not live to see the sunrise tomorrow unless you take her place. That's... oh my god. You know what to do and where to go. Do not try to stop me unless you want to hasten her death. Okay. The game was certainly going for a darker tone, you know, and even had cutscenes. How dark. Cutscenes are very dark. After I made the text box go away, you know, I didn't want it anymore. I was thrust right into the gameplay. I've not fucking hurt. This first thing I noticed was Mario's character model. I mean, you know, playing a video game, that's the first thing you notice, you know, is that his body was as detailed as in Super Mario Galaxy, although a little more realistically proportioned in terms of 2005. But his head was taken from his SM64 character model. Obviously, his design wasn't finished yet. What are you talking about? It's perfect. The setting was a sky level. Oh, love sky levels. There were some simple platforms floating in the air. The rest of the area was just blue sky with several clouds scrolling in the background. The clouds seemed more realistic. Oh god, I need water. More realistic than usual. Usually, you know, usual. They do be cashews, unsalted. The setting. Oh god. The setting was a sky level. Oh, amazing. Oh dear. The setting was a sky level. There were some simple platforms floating in the air. The rest of the area was just blue sky with several clouds scrolling in the background. The clouds seemed more realistic than the usual cartoony puffs in Mario games. They were quite graphically impressive, or as impressive as what they'd look like on a GameCube. What do I know? I'm not a game developer. There was no music or full voice samples from Mario, but there were sound effects / grunts when he jumped, so there was a kind of a voice sample. Lie number 3. Every single fucking time in a story, I swear. The jumping was more subdued than in other Mario games, whatever the fuck that means. Mario didn't jump as high as he usually did, and had little control over his movement in the air. Great, so it's one of those games. The different types of jumps in every 3D Mario weren't present either. That's when I say fuck it, and you stop playing the game immediately. I played through the level. There was nothing especially notable about the gameplay. Enemies didn't seem to have been added / coded in yet. I just jumped from platform to platform, and it wasn't very challenging. I see you haven't played. Do you want challenge? Go play Bubsy 3D, okay, buddy? As I went through the level, I noticed the graphics gradually changing. What the fuck? As the sky became more and more cloudy, until it was entirely composed of clouds. And the cloud background gradually turned to a dark gray. It's gonna fucking rain soon. After this, it started to rain. What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you? It's fucking rain. I didn't even read into the future. Like I literally I reached a small platform with a toad on it. It looked like the Super Mario Galaxy model. When I landed on his platform, dialogue appeared. God, do I have to do a toad voice? Okay. We don't want you here anymore. You don't belong here. You just give Bowser what he wants. Okay. Just give Bowser what he wants. Die. It's the worst toad voice ever. Oh. After the text box went away, I no longer had control of Mario. Oh, that's unfortunate. Mario just stood there for a while, then he turned around and walked off the platform. What the fuck? His body seemed to go limp as he fell. Oh, no. Eventually, it was revealed that there was a realistic modern city under the sky. Oh my gosh. It's an open world game. That's great. The buildings looked neglected. But there were people on the street. People were around. That's all that fucking matters. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Almost 30 minutes in. Oh, my freaking God. Mario hit the ground running with a realistic sounding thud. That running part wasn't. And I just added that in because I thought it would be funny. With a realistic sounding thud. But he didn't explode or show any visible wounds. He just lay there. You know, he's tired. He doesn't want to be the hero anymore. You know, it's my turn. The people in the city just kept walking by, ignoring Mario. Although I thought I saw a few glance at him with cold, somewhat angry expressions. How dare you fall from wherever you fell from? This is literally the plot of Pokemon Legends Arceus. No, I'm being serious. You fall from a distortion, whatever, and you just fucking die. And people are like, who the fuck are you? Get out of my town. It's like, bro, I just got here. This went on for a few minutes, and eventually, people stopped appearing. Mario got up. I was back in control. All right, video game time. Time to game. But he couldn't jump at all and had a reduced walking speed. The large buildings of the city didn't appear to be interactive, so I just kept walking down the street for a while. Eventually, I found a small house that seemed out of place among the larger buildings. When I approached the door, Mario opened it. The screen went white and some black text appeared. House of Torn Memories. Oh, my favorite Mario level. The house was filled with normal objects covered in dust and signs of neglect. You know, so a normal house. That's great. There were no people on the ground floor, just things like broken lamps and rotting food. I found a door that opened to a set of stairs going down, leading to a basement. In the basement, I found a dilapidated couch and a broken TV. However, what really caught my attention was what was on the couch. Two skeletons that appeared to be children. Oh no! Judging by their size, due to the scale of the house, they were still larger than Mario. Okay, buddy. I was starting to get really disturbed by now. Oh, now you're getting disturbed. How had a Mario game containing this been programmed to this extent? Probably because it's not real. But don't tell the author that. I went up to the skeletons and tried pressing buttons to interact with them or the TV, but nothing seemed to happen. That sucks. I was about to turn around and look elsewhere when I was nearly scared to death by a deafening loud crash coming from the game. What appeared to be Bowser seemed to have broken through the floor from below and landed in front of Mario. I say appeared to be, because this was nothing like the way Bowser is usually rendered. Sure, what appeared to be this so-called legendary Bowser, Koopa King, whatever, seemed to have... Oh, wait, no. What appeared to be this Bowser, so-called Koopa King or whatever, this reptilian monster, in the game had Bowser's basic brownish yellow and green color pattern, but looked far more threatening than any Bowser model I had seen before. Oh, okay. It was not proportioned like the Bowser I knew and loved. Its arms and legs were far longer in relation to its body and ended in razor-sharp claws. The green shell didn't look like it had spikes glued on, because apparently Bowser glues his spikes on. They were more jagged and organic looking with the same dark and green color the rest of the shell had. Okay. The face had small but intense pure black eyes and a mouth full of jagged teeth that took up far more of the face than it should have. How does he eat? I don't know. Mario was cowering in fear from this Bowser. A dialogue box appeared. Oh god, it's gonna speak. You've kept me waiting long. You've kept me waiting long enough, Mario. You kept me waiting long enough, Mario. I will taste flesh soon. Will you finally surrender, or does Peach have to die? Man, why I gotta bring the girl into this? Come on. I still didn't have control. Mario just stood there, shivering for several seconds before nodding his head. Oh, okay. Bowser impaled Mario with his claws. There was no blood, but it was clear from the animation and sound effects that the sharp digits of Bowser's hands had gone through Mario's body. In one swift motion, Bowser dragged Mario up to his face and bit his head off. Vor's story. Oh, great. Again, there was no blood or graphic details left behind on Mario's neck. Just Mario's character model being destroyed, and stuff. The screen faded to black. In white text, another level name appeared. Mario's Eternal Home. Mario's character model was whole again when the level started. That's neat, respawn. It was the only thing on the screen besides the black background. It was floating as if in space. I could somewhat control it, but it felt more like I was deciding the general direction in which Mario would tumble, then fully controlling him. As I drifted, trademarked, as I drifted my Joy-Cons and towards no apparent destination, voices faded in. They were echoing deep. They were echoing deep voices telling Mario that he was worthless, the world was no longer had any use for him, and that everyone would be better off if he was dead. I get I get those voices a lot too. It's called depression. It's fucking sucks. Trademarked. I don't fucking know. High-pitched crying was layered onto the voices. After a bit, it sounded like it was supposed to be Mario's cries. Who I don't know. This really disturbed me, and I found myself fighting back tears. Oh, you little girl. For reasons I couldn't understand, this was affecting me on an emotional level. There we go. Cliche. It says game affects real life somehow. We're the voices and aimless wandering went on for several minutes until I spotted a light gray speck in the distance. I moved towards it. It took a very long time to reach, and grew closer at a much slower rate than it should have. When I was close enough to make it out, I saw that it was a tombstone. Fitting. It was a very plain one with cracks in several places. You don't have to describe it. I get it. It's a tombstone. Okay? I get it. I know what a tombstone looks like. But thanks. When I got right to the tombstone, I could see writing on it. I turned off the system right after reading it. I'm not going to play the beta or hack or whatever this was again. There was a single word written on the tombstone. Innocence. That's right. The story took my fucking innocence. I'm done. F11. Fuck 11. F11. There we go. No, not F12. What the fudge? Said F11. There. Oh my gosh. So, Super Mario 128. It do be a story. What are we at? We are at 40 minutes. Let me see if I can find another one. Another really good creepypasta. Oh, I know. No, stop falling. Jeez. Why won't you listen to me? Damn it. Uh-oh. Don't fall again. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm mad at you. Monitor. Don't do it again. Never do it again. Never again. Never ever. I won't let you leave. I will never let you leave. Please don't leave. All right. I think there was one lost episodes. Lost. Hold on. Lost episodes. Oh my freaking jeez. Here we go. Now this. Hold on. Now this story, I can put on another creepy voice like I was doing with No End House last night. So let's go back and let's read more. We'll read another story in a serious voice. You gotta drink of water first so I don't shrivel up and burst. That doesn't make any sense. All right, onto the pasta. I love pasta. Lost episodes by Slime Beast. All right. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble here, so if you believe in haunted lost episode legends and enjoy living in that world, maybe this isn't the post for you. Don't get me wrong. I hate it when people complain about lack of realism in entertainment, and I think all kids need to believe in Santa and the Tooth Fairy for as long as possible. But this is different. Back in the 80s, I met this dude, Sid, who used to cut old VHS tapes and shit. It was more than a hobby for him. It was pretty much his entire life. His parents were a bit more wealthy than I'd been blessed with. So when we were teenagers and I was slaving away at a Scats fast food restaurant, he just hung around the house, cutting tapes all day, all night. Of course, as you get older, things in your past become a bit more clear. And I think he might have been borderline autistic. Coming from someone who's autistic, though, he might have been. I don't know. Anyway, that's the only banter I will add. Get back. Or maybe he was a very high-functioning person with Asperger's. But, of course, I'm no expert, and I'm not saying that was the case. It's just the best and quickest way I can think of to explain his personality and this obsession with cutting tapes. It started when he saw Old Yeller as a little kid. For whatever reason, his parents let him watch that shit. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's the tale of a boy and his dog. I hope I don't have to announce the spoiler on such an old-ass movie. But in the end, the boy has to shoot his own dog because it's rabid. Sid didn't appreciate this. His dad photographed and videotaped weddings. So he showed Sid how to operate some of the machines. And Sid cut out the ending, replacing it with an earlier happy scene of as if Old Yeller just suddenly got better off screen. He watched the tape obsessively after that, even into his early teens when I'd first met him. He made me watch it once to show how he fixed it, and I could actually picture him as a little boy once he started applauding and cheering his own Fox ending. I don't want to say I was a bad influence, but after I saw it, I asked if he could do that with other movies. My major interest was perhaps taking a film or two and cutting in some nude frames the actress hadn't really done Don't worry, though. I never had the guts to actually ask if he could. I just imagine how cool it would be. Often. Sid told me that, yes, he could fix any movie he wanted. In fact, he had done it with a few others. He had a copy of the Ghostbusters cartoon, and I shit you not, every single ghost was completely removed. The story made no sense. There was no continuity, but he had accomplished it, and I was very impressed. I guess in the time of VHS, these things seemed more magical than they do nowadays. As time went by, I encouraged Sid to edit more movies, but with different purposes. Instead of whitewashing all the scary stuff like he'd wanted to do so, I got him to see the light on how awesome he could make things. Somewhere out there, this chubby Star Wars nerd from our high school has all 3 original films flawlessly cut together, with edited in effects that would have made George Lucas himself cry out, "Enough meddling!" We charged him like $20 for the only copy because we were idiots. Because we were idiots. Anyway, this went on for a while before I lost most of my interest in it. It was more of a goof for me than it was for him. This was the point where I started working, started driving, started taking bases with local girls. Oh, he just got more and more involved in cutting those tapes. I think his favorites were cartoons. When The Simpsons came around, he went apeshit with those. Now his edits weren't so much fixing things as just breaking them in interesting ways. Another thing that sticks out in my mind is when he recorded an episode of MASH and cut it with a gory old war flick. Halfway through his version, the camp gets bombed, soldiers invade, everyone dies. At the end, he specifically worked in freeze frames of each cast member's face, eyes closed. He had completely reversed his interests and embraced what had once terrified him. Scary endings. He seemed to love things like long, drawn-out sequences and terrifying silence. He'd make me be quiet while they played, too. You may have heard about this mysterious fellow named Banksy, who goes around creating interesting graffiti and whatnot. At one point, he went into a music store and replaced some Paris Hilton CDs with his own fakes. Banksy had nothing on Sid. Every other week, he'd tell me about some store or video rental place he'd snuck some of his tapes into. He swapped out the real ones with his versions, and then he'd start all over by cutting the ones he had stolen. At one point, when I hadn't heard from him in a long while, I stopped by his parents' house and found him in the garage. He'd set up his own little movie studio there, complete with a drawing board. He was actually animating entirely new content. All at once, I was blown away by his artistic skill I'd never seen before. And very concerned about when this guy was going to come out of the dark and start acting normal like me. He barely looked up from his drawings as we spoke. I asked him what any kid now in his late teens would ask. What the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, dude, this is some crazy shit. It's work. I'm working. My work is just as important as anyone else's. Are you even selling these anymore? Or are you just sneaking them into places? How much is all this costing your dad? I don't care. I looked at what he was so fervently illustrating. Is that a headless body dancing? Yeah. It's pretty dark, man. I know. That's the point. I don't get it. Those tapes. I thought they were wrong, but over time, I figured out the truth. Which is... Scary stuff is right. The happy endings are the lie. He just kept drawing as I stood there. The silence was disturbing. And in that moment, I could smell the BO coming from off of him. It wasn't sweat either. It was a mingling of that. It was a mingling of that foul ass and piss-soaked cloth. I hate to say it, but I gave up on him right then. It's that moment when you look at someone you thought you knew, and all you can think is holy shit. I never realized they were this far gone. It wasn't until I was in my 30s that Sid crossed my mind again. I was pursuing the internet, just aimlessly wandering the web, when I came across a series of urban legends around strange VHS tapes, recut movies, and lost episodes. Some of these I'd recognized. I'd watched them with Sid, or I'd actually seen him in the middle of working on them. Every disturbing scene, every unbelievable anecdote, I believed it, because I had been there. Others, SpongeBob cartoons, episodes of iCarly or whatever, those shows came long after I'd made my break with Sid. But the style was all too familiar. Even the ones that didn't sound like his work seemed like they could have been broken copies or attempts at mincing his work. He was still doing it. My God, it boggled my mind. I called up Sid's old number, not entirely sure I'd still find him there. It rang for minutes on end. And I knew that the search was hopeless. Even if he still lived with his parents, it wasn't likely that it'd still be the same house by now. Still, I made it a point to drive out to his old place to see if he was still in that garage, cutting tapes or manipulating them via computer or whatever he would be up to. When I passed by the house, the unkempt lawn was overgrown with huge, waist-high weeds. The dilapidated facade of the building, with its peeling paint on the shutters, missing roof tiles, and muck-filled gutters, told me no one had lived here for a long time. I saw a note on the door, but couldn't read it from the road. Maybe it was something I could use to locate Sid and see if he had gotten the help I now realized I should have given him. Pulling into the driveway, my headlights illuminated the garage door. It was windowless and vandalized with the gangster tags of some traveling band of assholes. The note on the door, as one might expect, spoke of a certain bank now owning the property. It noted that trespassing was heavily discouraged, and that at a certain point, someone would be out to make sure the house was winterized, whatever the hell that is. As I walked back to the car, defeated, something was nagging at me. I knew that Sid's parents kept a spare key under a false rock by the back stairs. Basically by virtue of Sid locking us both out on several occasions. When I found the key, a sense of cold, gnawing dread swirled in my stomach. Who would move out and leave everything in place like this? The key was the most obvious thing, but the flower pots and lawn decorations were still there. Sid's old, rusted out, huffy bike was leaning against the house and had created thick, rusty streaks along the aluminum siding. I don't even know what I expected to find, but using the key, I entered the house. The smell was overwhelming. Not a putrid smell, nothing rotten or decaying, just the smell of... I don't know if this would make any sense to you, but the smell of electricity. Like burning dust on a light bulb or a heater giving off a peculiar warm metal color. That was the least of my concerns, however, as I saw everything just as I had left it. Everything Sid's family owned was frozen in time. The dining room table we'd all sat at on many occasions was dust covered and sported an emaciated dead rat, which had all but turned to dust. The television, that bulky, oversized television set we'd all sat around to watch Sid's tapes, laud his creativity. It sat where it always had been, silently displaying a violent bombardment of black and white static. As I moved through the rooms, the sense of panic and discomfort within me only grew. Every fiber of my being was shouting, "Run! Run! Run, you fucking idiot!" Still, I pressed on into Sid's bedroom. It was now empty and in disrepair. His prized action figures and blank videotapes, hundreds of videotapes, stale and water damaged. I almost wanted to call out and shout, "Sid!" and wait for him to appear as if nothing was out of the ordinary. I went into his parents' bedroom. There, lying in bed, were two motionless bodies. Gaunt, gray, half turned to dust. Just like the rat in the dining room. I could scarcely believe what I was seeing with my own eyes. Not only were there two dead bodies slowly dissipating within the confines of this once idyllic suburban household, but nobody had even checked on them. Nobody had discovered this until now. My mind raced. My heart raced. The only thing that wouldn't move were my feet, which remained glued to the spot. Sid, I thought, must have done this. There was no way the two of them would just lie down one night and simultaneously die of natural causes. Sid had said he didn't care about his parents, and when was the last time I had seen them? Gosh, I hadn't seen them for days, maybe weeks before the last time I talked to Sid. When I finally left the room, I took out my cell phone and began dialing 911. However, as soon as I lifted it to my head, an ear-splitting shriek of interference nearly caused me to fling the object across the room. I rushed to the kitchen phone, squealing static. I tried the living room phone just to be thorough. Static. Let me try that again. I rushed into the kitchen phone, squealing static. I tried the living room phone just to be thorough. Static. It wasn't until I put the receiver back down that I heard it. Music. Faint, very barely audible music that I hadn't noticed before. It seemed to be a repeating melody, happy and light, some flutes, maybe a whole horn section. I followed the peppy tune into the in-house door to the garage. Pressing my ear to the door's dirty surface, I determined that the music was indeed coming from just beyond. Sid, I called out, barely managing to form the name with cold, bloodless lips. Oh God. What was the... Sid, are you in there? Are you all right? I tried the door only to find it somehow locked from the other side. It was no matter, since one wild kick nearly knocked the rotting wood off its hinges. Sid! I shouted as the dust slowly cleared. Through the haze, I could only see the light of a television screen. Vibrant colors. Blue, green, yellow. Soon, I could make out a cartoon playing on the screen. Then, the silver wires running from the set itself into some dark mass. Then, the dark mass took shape as my eyes adjusted to the odd lighting. It was Sid, or rather, his body. Not dead nearly as long as his parents, seated in an old office chair. The wires from the television set had led directly into his body, eventually disappearing into several old, crusted-over holes in his leathery flesh. Through a small, worn, eaten opening in his ribs, I thought I could see more metal inside of him. I walked to Sid's side, holding my hand over my mouth in fear of vomiting. His face was twisted into a hideous, wide grin. His empty eye socket almost seemed happy, hooded by a pleased brow line. "Hi there!" I heard a jarring voice. The voice was upbeat, high-pitched. It sounded almost like Sid, but different, bubbly, cartoony. I turned to the screen. The green grass, the blue sky, the yellow flowers, and Sid. A perfect caricature of him. It strolled along the infinite loop of that utopian cartoon background. It waved to me. "Sid?" I whispered. "Oh God, Sid." The cartoon version of him, turned his attention away from me and continued merrily strolling across the unending cycle of the same backdrop. He passed a shrub, then passed it again and again. The same bluebird chirping happily flew through the sky in a figure 8. Sid. I shook my head, unable to comprehend the scenario. I never should have let you leave reality. I never should have let you leave reality. I thought about what Sid had done to his mom and dad. I thought about how the bank would soon come, and this would all come to light. I watched Sid walk along for nearly a half hour. Then, I unplugged the set. Whew. That is still a really good story. That is a very good story. It's great. I love it. I always love that story. It's good. I used to be in Slime Beast's server. I think I left because I just wasn't active, but I want to come back, see what's going on. I think the last time I was in there, I was commenting on how the Troll Pasta wiki kept getting taken down because fandom fandom.com or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, that is not a creepypasta. That is not a creepypasta. I already read this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me return this layout to normal. There we go. What else are we gonna do? Oh, it's 12:15. I don't know. We read 2 more stories. That's good. That's enough for tonight. I'm gonna do. I may do one more stream. It's gonna be another short. It's gonna be a short one. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, if I do, I will see you guys soon. I'll see everyone. To the one person that's here, I don't know who you are, but thank you very much for watching. I will come back with playing some game or whatever. And if not, then I will see everyone on Thursday. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.